What if I told you the company that completely messed up its AI rollout might actually be the ones that wins? Apple, the company that promised you a smarter Siri in 2024 and then just didn't deliver. The company that got sued for misleading its own customer. That company is walking into WWDC 2026 and somehow they might be holding all the cards. Stick with me because this one's wild. Let's go back. WWDC 2024. Tim Cook walks on stage, the crowd goes crazy, and Apple introduces Apple Intelligence, new Siri, growing border, different voices, ChatGPT integration. The whole thing looked incredible on screen, and then nothing. The feature just didn't show up. Months went by, people kept waiting, and it got so bad inside Apple that Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, the journalist who has Apple sources inside the building, reported that Robbie Walker, Apple's own director of Siri, called the situation awkward. In a meeting with his team, he admitted the company had overpromised, that the marketing team jumped the gun, that the features people were being sold weren't ready. It got so bad that Apple ended up settling a class action lawsuit. They had to pay iPhone owners money because they advertised feature that flat out didn't exist on people's phone. Think about that. Apple had to write checks because of a feature they never shipped. So by any measure, Apple lost the AI race badly, right? Right? Here's where it gets interesting. While Apple was busy embarrassing itself, Google was out here going full cypher villain with Gemini. And look, Gemini is genuinely impressive. It can order you an Uber, it can DoorDash your dinner, it looks at your calendar and tells you when you leave for the airport. It anticipates your next move before you even think of it. That sounds amazing. And in a demo, it is amazing. But here's the thing nobody's talking about. People are starting to get genuinely creeped out. There are growing distrust of AI across the board. A December 2025 UGOV survey found that only 18% of Americans trust an AI system to actually make a decision or take action on their behalf. 18%, and that number isn't going up, it's going the other way. And who noticed this before anyone else? Tristan Harris, the former Google design ethicist, the guy who testified in front of Congress about how tech companies exploit human psychology. He's been warning for years, the more smoothly AI plugged into your life, the more it stops feeling like a tool and it starts feeling like surveillance. And people are starting to feel that. Because there's a huge difference between wanting your AI to anticipate your next move and actually watching it happen in real life. One feels like a superpower and other feels like being watched through a window. See, Apple's delay, as embarrassing as it was, might have accidentally bought them something money can't buy. Time to see what not to do. Google went on in all capability. Samsung went all in on integration. Everyone raced to build the most powerful, most connected, most knowing AI assistant possible. And now there's a gap in the market. A huge, wide open gap for an AI assistant that people actually trust. One that doesn't feel like it's reading your text, selling your habits, and sending everything off to some server you have never heard of. Apple has spent 20 years building a brand around one word: privacy. They put it on billboards, they fight governments over it, they use it as a weapon against Google in every ad campaign. And now, right at the moment when the entire industry is making people uncomfortable with how deep AI gotten into their lives, Apple walked into WWDC to reintroduce Siri again. So what are we expecting to see? This is essentially a reintroduction. Apple already introduced the new Siri in 2024. Then they had to quietly walk it back because it didn't work. Now they are doing it again, and this time it's actually need to ship. According to Max Rumor, citing people familiar with Apple's plan, the company is expected to show how its chips can run AI queries directly on your device locally, so your data never has to leave your phone. No clouds, no server fans, no mystery, just your phone doing the thinking, keeping your business to itself. That's the play. Not most powerful, not most connected. The lane Apple is stepping into is most trusted. And honestly, that pitch is more powerful today than it would have been 2 years ago because how uncomfortable Gemini and others have made people feel. Apple didn't create this lane, the market built it for them. All they had to do was fall flat on their face long enough for the world to change around them. Here's the bottom line. Gemini won the race. Technically, functionally, feature for feature. Google's AI is the street ahead. If you want an AI that does the most, Gemini is your answer. No debate. But winning a race that nobody trusted, that's a completely different game. Apple is about to make a bet that people don't actually want the most powerful assistant. They want the one they feel safe with. The one that doesn't make them feel like a product being packaged and sold. Whether Siri actually delivers this time, that's the whole other question. Apple has a trust problem with itself after the 2024 disaster, but the opportunity in front of them right now, the opportunity is real. The company that fell the hardest in the AI era might be the perfect setup to win the AI era. And if that's not the most Apple thing that's ever happened, I genuinely don't know what is. Drop a comment. Do you trust Apple with your own AI, or is this just another hype cycle? See you soon. Subscribe for more.